Look in my eyes, what do you see? It's a cringy personality. I say, my dog's got no nose. How does he smell? Anything you want, he can't hear you. Here's your wrestling news. Roman Reigns calls out CM Punk and wants a WWE match. Joey Ryan files a lawsuit following the speaking out movement. Plus, a championship match has been added to NXT Takeover 31. We'll talk about that in a bit. Roman Reigns, who is on the absolute ride of his life at the moment as the biggest badass in wrestling. Loved his work at Clash of Champions, and he was on the podcast Load Management, and he was talking about some dream matches he'd love to have, and one name came up that certainly pricked up the ears of wrestling fans. That's right, Natsuki from Doki Doki Literature Club. I'm kidding. She'd deck him. No, CM Punk came up in conversation. So when he was talking about dream opponents, he said, quote, all the way from someone as big as The Rock to someone like a CM Punk, for instance, someone who really hits home with our home audience, our hardcore fans. If you'd watched wrestling for the past 10 to 15 years and you love it and it's within your blood, then you probably have some kind of feelings about that guy. I know I do. Just by doing one of these things, he made my job a lot harder. If it's something that the fans can get behind, and if it can really make them sink their teeth into the product and really dive into the creative with us, then I'm willing to do it. I don't like the guy. I don't know many people who do. But I'm willing to put business first and make really good content if that is the case. He'd probably have to be slapped around a few times in order to get his mind right. But if it's willing and the fans and the audience are going to like it and be into it, then most likely I'm going to be into it. Some shots fired by Romulus Reigns towards Phil Brooks there, eh? Now, every time we tease a potential return to wrestling for CM Punk, I feel like an angel gets its wings. It happens quite a lot. And I've learned to kind of just brush anything that says CM Punk return confirmed, but it's something about the wording in this that is making me think, is there more to this? Are we just being bitten again by the same CM Punk return shaped bug? We're yet to see. Roman Reigns' current character really leans into something like this, where he can cut free a bit more and just speak his mind on people like CM Punk. And Punk isn't one to shy away from speaking his mind on other people. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a rebuttal from CM Punk. I would probably be surprised if this turns into a match. I feel the guy that Roman Reigns mentioned at the beginning of that quote just then, The Rock, there is more likely a match between The Rock and Roman Reigns. I feel like that lends itself nicely into the ethos of Roman Reigns right now. Sort of the tribal chief, head of the table, here's The Rock, that Samoan bloodline thing. Maybe a run-in by Maui, I don't know. But I see that as a more likely match happening than probably Punk and Roman Reigns. I've been wrong before. They had a belter in 2014. I think it was January 13th or 14th on the old school Raw. Go back and watch that today. It's a cracker of a match. Now, we haven't heard from Joey Ryan since he posted a video onto YouTube a month or so ago denying the accusations made against him during the speaking out movement. That is until today, as it has come to light that Joey Ryan has filed lawsuits, now multiple lawsuits, against his accusers, which add up to an excess of $15 million in damages in the suit. So Heel by Nature broke this one, saying that Joey Ryan is claiming for lost revenue of up to $10,000 in monthly wrestling bookings, which is also $1,000+ in Twitch revenue, also $3,000 in monthly Patreon revenue, $1,000 in merchandise revenue every month, $3,500 in monthly revenue for bar wrestling, and also $500 monthly cameo revenue as well. He's also claiming he lost social media followers and social media presence, and has seen a substantial decrease in various social media followings as a result of the accusations. He filed the suit on Thursday at the Central Court of California, and he's claiming 3 women named in the suit made false allegations which resulted in reputation being damaged, which led to financial loss. Now, from the 3 women, he is asking $200,000 each in economic damages, multiplied by the amount of months since the allegations came out in March, which equals up to $5 million from each in non-economic damages, and punitive damages of $10 million due to malice, hatred, ill will, and despicable and intentional acts. Also, we found out via PW Insider that there is now a second lawsuit in from Joey Ryan, which was filed by the City of Los Angeles Central Judicial District, and it names one woman, which PW Insider referred to as Callie, as she's a resident of California, and also names 10 additional women as Jane Doe. Now, apparently this has been added so that Joey Ryan has the ability to add them to the lawsuit if he opts to do so. There is a 38-page lawsuit document which features background material on Joey Ryan. It showcases sort of where the costs have come from that he's asking for, and goes into detail about the accusations and such like that. There's going to be more to this as the week goes on, I do believe, and we'll let you know more when we know more at Cultaholic.com. Monday Night Raw that featured 100% less Raw Underground and a playable demo of Randy Orton's Splinter Cell seems to have done alright in the ratings. So it's broken down that the 28th of September edition of Raw pulled in 1.8 million overnight viewers, up from 1.6 last week. And there's going to be some relieved people to see Raw moving in a better direction. Now, the question is, will they sort of knee-jerk on this, and will this be the end of Raw Underground? We now know via Cultaholic.com why Raw Underground wasn't on this past week. This is due to a rush job to get Raw put together in the wake of multiple positive tests for COVID-19. So they just didn't have one this week. Whilst it's a Shane McMahon project, I'm fairly sure we will see it again, but it might give them some food for thought about putting it back on. If you missed Monday Night Raw but you don't want to watch Monday Night Raw, Jack the Jobber did a cracking job on Raw Graded whilst I took a day off yesterday to go hiking and fill in some very important paperwork. Aside, I sat in the bath and ate biscuits and cried. Raw Graded on the Cultaholic YouTube channel right now for you. Some news that we saw come in, but now it is in black and white on the blackboard that is Twitter. NXT UK Takeover Dublin has once again been postponed. So it was scheduled originally for April 26th. It was moved to October. It was coming up on the 25th next month, and the 3 Arena Dublin has put out a tweet to say that it has now been moved once again to Sunday, the 20th of June 2021, still at the 3 Arena in Dublin. If you bought tickets for either the April show or the rescheduled October one, they'll still be valid when we get to June. I feel like the end of COVID-19 will come when we get this takeover in Dublin and we see Finn Balor versus Volta. That's the main event, isn't it? That's the main event. A few people have asked why on the poster that 3 Arena have shared, we still see Joe Coffey and Jordan Devlin, who, as we know, are suspended from the company. And they're very much featured quite prominently on the poster. I wouldn't read into that. I'm pretty sure this is just a case of that's the poster that the 3 Arena had, and they've just shared that on their social media accounts. Just thought I'd put that out there because a few people have asked me why they think that's happening. I think it's just an admin thing. I wouldn't read into it. We're getting a women's tournament for Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. This is gonna be brilliant. So, Lindsay Snow, Layla Hirsch, Killer Kelly, Allysin Kay. It's a one-night tournament with all 4 of those badasses, right? The winners face each other in the finals. This was meant to be a tournament for Deonna Purrazzo as well, but she's pulled out of it as she has a Bound for Glory commitment next month that she wants to be in good form for, which I totally get. Allysin Kay is going to shine in this. In fact, I'm putting the money on either Killer Kelly or Allysin Kay to take this whole thing away. They join an amazing card for Bloodsport. Moxley versus Chris Dickinson, Homicide versus Filthy Tom Lawler, Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Tom Alexander. Simon Grimm and Matt Makowski. I'm not too familiar with Matt Makowski, but I know Simon Grimm, aka Simon Gotch from the Vaudevillains that time, can do some really great stuff in a Bloodsport environment. This will be a good one, and it's happening on October the 11th. You can watch it on Fight TV. It's part of the GCW collective. And finalement for a Wednesday, a title match has been added to NXT Takeover 31. I just feel strange how they've not given this any kind of branding, any fun name. I mean, 31's my lucky number, so I'm all right with that. It just seems a bit strange. We have a title match. It is going to be Santos Escobar defending the NXT Cruiserweight Championship against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Swerve has pinned Santos on several occasions on NXT television, and despite the fact that he came up short in the last match they had following shenanigans from Legado del Fantasma and a worked mask type affair, they're going at it again. They should have a cracker of a match. So they are added to the lineup, which also includes Kushida versus Velveteen Dream, Damian Priest against Johnny Gargano with the North American title on the line, Io Shirai defending the NXT Women's title against Candice LeRae, and Finn Balor putting the NXT title on the line against Kyle O'Reilly. This is going to be one of those work rate shows. I feel like there's going to be a fair few A's handed out by the end of this. But we'll find out when we do NXT TakeOver 31 graded next week. We'll worry about that next week. Let's not stress on it now. Let's worry about it next week. Desert Island Graps is back. It's had a summer break. A brand new podcast up later today on the Cultaholic podcast feed featuring the AAW World Champion Mance Warner. So AAW goes live on Fight TV tomorrow. First time in the UK that you can watch what they're putting out straight out of Chicago. And Mance Warner's on Desert Island Graps to talk about, of course, 3 matches he'd watched while stranded on a desert island, but also about a time he nearly got shot with a gun at a wrestling show. That's how effective a heel he is. You'll hear that on the Cultaholic podcast feed a little later on today. Have yourselves a smashing Wednesday. Stay safe. Love you, bye.